So, in today's video of chapter halogen derivatives, I'll be talking about the elimination reactions, that is dehydrohalogenation, reaction with active metals, and reaction of haloarenes also. Let's start. Elimination reactions, that is dehydrohalogenation reaction. When alkyl halides having at least one beta hydrogen atom, if it is boiled with alcoholic potassium hydroxide, it undergoes the elimination of hydrogen atom from beta carbon and halogen atom from alpha carbon atom, resulting in the formation of alkene. Now, this reaction is called beta elimination or 1,2 elimination reaction, as it is involving the elimination of halogen and, or you can say, alpha halogen and beta hydrogen atom. So if this is the general reaction, this is alpha carbon atom having one halogen atom, this is beta carbon atom having one hydrogen atom at least. So when it is, this compound is heated with alcoholic caustic potash, like say KOH, what will happen? These two atoms, that is one hydrogen from beta carbon and one atom from alpha, one halogen atom from alpha, will be separated out or will be removed and alkene will be formed. This is what you call dehydrohalogenation reaction. Now, if there are two or more non-equivalent beta hydrogen atoms in a halide, then in this reaction the mixture of products would be formed. Those, if you see 2-bromobutane on heating with alcoholic KOH, it will give you but1ene as well as but2ene, both. The different products of elimination do not form in equal proportion, and there is one rule which is called as Sedzeff rule. According to this rule, the dehydrohalogenation reaction proceeds. According to Sedzeff, in dehydrohalogenation reaction, the preferred product is that alkene which has great number of alkyl group attached to doubly bonded carbon atom. That product would be more in amount. And in this reaction, what would happen? This but2ene is the preferred product and it is a major product. It is turned out that more highly substituted alkene are also more stable alkenes. Hence, Sedzeff elimination is preferred, the formation of more highly stabilized alkene during the elimination reaction. And this is the stability order of alkyl substituted alkenes. Now, next reaction is the reaction of alkyl halides with active metals like magnesium. Active metals are many, and some active metals are sodium, magnesium, cadmium, and they used to combine with alkyl chlorides, bromides, iodides to give you compounds containing carbon metal bonds. When alkyl halide like RX we are seeing on the screen, when it is treated with magnesium metal in dry ether as solvent, it will give you alkyl magnesium halide, which is called as Grignard reagent. Its chemical name is alkyl magnesium halide, and Grignard reagents are very reactive compounds. They react with water or compounds containing hydrogen attached to electronegative atom. For example, when Grignard reagent is treated with methyl alcohol, what will happen? Hydrocarbon will form and one byproduct would be formed. If Grignard reagent is treated with ammonia, what will happen? Hydrocarbon will form and NH2 group from ammonia will get attached to magnesium atom of Grignard. So this is how reaction used to happen. What's reaction? What's reaction you have learnt in class 11 in hydrocarbon chapter, when alkyl halides react with metallic sodium in dry ether as solvent. What will happen? You will get higher alkanes containing double number of carbon atoms present in alkyl halide. See, when ethyl bromide is treated with sodium metal in dry ether, what you will get? You will get butane, which is exactly double in number of carbon atoms as in ethyl bromide. It is Wood's reaction. When you are using two different alkyl halides, you will be getting mixture of alkenes. When you are treating methyl bromide with ethyl bromide in with sodium metal, and the reaction is happening in dry ether, you will get ethane, propane, and butane. Now the reaction of haloarenes. Reaction of haloarenes with metal. Let's suppose bromobenzene is reacting with sodium metal, and along with bromobenzene we are also taking one alkyl halide like methyl bromide. When these two halogen derivatives are reacting with sodium metal in dry ether, this reaction would be called as Woods-Fittig reaction. This reaction is the extension of Woods reaction and carried out by Fittig. So this reaction used to allow us the alkylation of benzene ring or aryl halides. In that case, you will be getting toluene along with sodium bromide. But when you are taking only aryl halides and treated it with sodium metal in dry ether, you will be getting biphenyl, and the reaction would be known as Fittig reaction. Now, nucleophilic substitution of haloarenes. Aryl halides show low reactivity towards nucleophilic substitution reaction. The low reactivity of aryl halides is due to the resonance effect and sp2 hybrid state of carbon atom present in the benzene ring. One of the lone pair of electrons on halogen atom is in conjugation with pi electrons of the ring. See, this double bond is in conjugation with this pair of electron of chlorine. It is in conjugation, and there are different resonance structure like second, third, and fourth. Different resonance structure shows the double bond character of chlorine atom bonded with the carbon of benzene ring. And with these resonating structure, we will be seeing that carbon and chlorine bond length in chlorobenzene is 169 pm as compared to 178 pm. Hence, it is difficult to break. So, phenyl cation produced due to the self-ionization of haloarenes will not be stabilized by resonance. So, that is why SN1 mechanism is not possible. And backside attack of nucleophile used to be blocked by the benzene ring. So, SN2 mechanism is also being ruled out. But nucleophilic substitution reaction involving carbon and halogen bond in haloarene proceeds with difficulty. It is seen now. But when we are seeing some groups as certain position in the ring, it used to activate the halogen of aryl halide towards the substitution. For example, presence of electron withdrawing group on ortho or para position, like nitro group is present on para position here, or nitro is present ortho and para both position here, and nitro is present in both ortho and para position here. They used to activate the halogen atom, and the substitution reaction could happen, like you are seeing in the screen. Chlorine is substituted by OH because NO2 was present at the para position. Here also Cl is replaced by hydroxyl, and here also Cl is replaced by OH group. Now, electrophilic substitution reaction in aryl halides. Aryl halides undergo electrophilic substitution reaction slowly compared to benzene, and in resonance structure of chlorobenzene, electron density is relatively more at ortho and para position, so incoming electrophilic group is more likely attached to these positions only. But due to the steric hindrance, ortho position para product usually predominates. So let's talk about halogenation. Halogenation of chlorobenzene. If chlorobenzene is reacting with chlorine in presence of anhydrous FeCl3, you would be getting orthodichlorobenzene and paradichlorobenzene along with the formation of HCl, and para product would be the major product. If you talk about nitration, in a case of nitration, what would happen? Chlorobenzene would be heated with concentrated nitric acid along with concentrated sulfuric acid to give you 1-chloro-4-nitrobenzene, and ortho-nitrochlorobenzene will also be formed, but para product would be more. In case of sulfonation, when chlorobenzene would be heated with concentrated sulfuric acid, or you would say fuming sulfuric acid, you would be getting ortho and para products. That is 1-chlorobenzene sulfonic acid and 4-chlorobenzene sulfonic acid. Now, last, Friedel-Crafts alkylation and acylation. In Friedel-Crafts acylation, when chlorobenzene is treated with methyl chloride in presence of anhydrous chloride, what will happen on ortho position and para position? You will be getting methyl groups, 1-chlorotoluene and 4-chlorotoluene would be formed at the end. And during acylation, when you are treating chlorobenzene with acetyl chloride in presence of anhydrous AlCl3, you would be getting COCH3 group on ortho and another compound on para position. The compound's name would be 1-chloroacetophenol and 4-chloroacetophenol. So these are the electrophilic substitution reaction of aryl halides. Now, the uses and environmental effects of some polyhalogen compounds. First compound, dichloromethane or methylene chloride. It is highly dangerous if it is coming direct contact with eyes, and it used to damage your cornea if it is coming in contact. Another is chloroform or trichloromethane. It is one of the best solvent for extracting compounds or natural products like gums, fats, resins, and long exposure of chloroform may affect liver. When it is exposed in air, the poisonous gas is formed because of the oxidation of chloroform, which is called as phosgene. So that is why it is used to be stored in dark colored airtight bottles. Another compound is carbon tetrachloride. It is a compound which used to serve as the source of chlorine. It is used in a cleaning agent, and it is highly toxic to liver. Iodoform. It is used in medicine as healing agent and antiseptic in dressing of wounds. It may cause respiratory irritation or breathing difficulty, dizziness, nausea, depression of CNS, and visual disturbance also. Freons. Freons are the organic compounds containing chlorine and fluorine in them. CFCs are commonly used as refrigerants. Most common representative of dichloro-difluoromethane is Freon 12. Other includes chloro-difluoromethane and trichlorofluoromethane and so on. These are the compounds which are responsible for ozone depletion of ozone in stratosphere, and regular large inhalation of freons result in breathing problems, organ damage, and loss of consciousness also. And the last is DDT, which is dichlorodiphenyl trichloroethane. It is colorless, tasteless, odorless, crystalline compound having insecticidal property. It used to kill insects like house fleas, mosquitoes, and body lice also. It was used for controlling malaria and typhus, and laboratory results are showing that it used to have adverse effect on our liver and reproduction. It is a persistent organic pollutant readily absorbed by the soils and tends to accumulate in the ecosystem. When dissolved in oil in other lipid, it used to be absorbed by the skin, and it used to resist our metabolic processes also. It accumulates in fatty tissues, so there is a ban on the use of DDT due to all these adverse effects. So this is all about the damaging and environmental effect of polyhalogen compounds. Thank you.